Chapter 71. The Banquet's Female Companion. The Pierce Group anniversary banquet naturally had Adrian and Ava entering last. The gala had attracted many of Pierce Group's business partners. One could say that nearly every notable family in New Harbor had made an appearance. When the two of them appeared together, everyone gasped. This scene had occurred 6 years ago without anyone finding it unusual. But now, with Adrian currently dating Grace and their broken engagement having been witnessed by most people present, things were different. Some had speculated back then that Adrian's broken engagement was related to Ava. There were rumors that Adrian was spotted at the New Harbor airport when Ava went abroad to recover from her injuries at the engagement party. Of course, the Pierce family held too much power. Not a single detail about that day leaked out. They naturally didn't dare ask Adrian directly, and could only speculate privately. Today, at such an important event, Adrian brought Ava instead of Grace. Many were guessing whether these two were getting back together. "Adrian, didn't you say Jai wasn't coming?" Ava, holding Adrian's arm, tilted her head up in confusion, turning to look at Grace in the distance. Grace wore a stunning red evening gown. With her cold features, even the red color that typically looked cheap on others took on an aristocratic air on her. She stood beside her friend, holding a champagne flute with the amber liquid inside swirling gently. The subtle movement betrayed her unsettled heart. Today, she had deliberately rearranged her client meeting to give Adrian a surprise. Instead, she received this surprise from Adrian. Next up, we'd like to invite Mr. Pierce and our Slow brand spokesperson, Miss Ava Hart, to perform tonight's opening dance. The MC's words fell. Everyone inhaled sharply. They applauded politely nonetheless. Slow was a national brand. Previously, their spokespeople had all been A-list celebrities with significant influence. Suddenly switching to a new spokesperson was unusual. While Ava had considerable international fame as a ballet dancer, her domestic popularity didn't match that of those celebrity actors. Choosing her as the new spokesperson seemed like Pierce Group was elevating Ava's status. It felt more like Pierce Group was inflating Ava's value. "I'm sorry, Jai. Adrian said you weren't coming, so I went with him for this opening dance. You don't mind, right?" Ava smiled sweetly while holding Adrian's arm. She appeared innocent and pure. Grace smiled thinly and shook her head. "Since G's here now, I'll give Adrian back to you, okay?" Ava pushed Adrian slightly toward Grace with a smile. "I still have some sponsors to greet. Don't miss me too much." When Ava turned away, her eyes gleamed with satisfaction. From the moment Grace saw her dress, she'd predicted Grace would show up. Her good sister never disappointed her. "Ava." Wesley's cheerful smile appeared in Ava's line of sight. She met his bright gaze and put on a sweet smile. "Going somewhere?" Adrian suddenly pulled her wrist, his low voice coming from above her head. Ava raised her eyebrows slightly. Adrian seemed less willing to let her go than she'd anticipated. "Opening dance." Adrian stated it like a fact. Ava paused imperceptibly. Adrian was bringing her to the dance floor much earlier than planned. "Wait." Ava was about to speak when Adrian was already pulling her toward the dance area. "Is it true you arranged this engagement?" Adrian asked as they walked, his voice measured and controlled. Ava's heart skipped a beat. How had he known? "It was my mother who arranged it. She thought the Hale family was good, and they expressed interest, so she had me get to know Wesley." "He's not suitable for you," Adrian stated coldly, as if stating facts. Ava just smiled without responding. "The following invitation is for Mr. Pierce and Slow brand spokesperson Miss Ava Hart to perform our opening dance," the MC announced. There was a collective gasp from the crowd, followed by enthusiastic applause. Slow was indeed a major national brand. Previously, its representatives were always high-profile celebrity actors and actresses. Now, unexpectedly switching ambassadors raised many eyebrows. Though Ava held significant international reputation as a prima ballerina, her domestic profile didn't match those celebrity stars. Selecting her as the new spokesperson seemed like Pierce Group was elevating Ava's standing. It almost felt like Pierce Group was intentionally boosting Ava's profile. As Grace watched Adrian invite Ava to dance with a gesture, she recalled how it used to be. Before Adrian's accident, every banquet hosted by the Pierce family would feature Adrian and Ava opening the dance together. She was 15, Ava was 10. At Adrian's birthday party, that was the first time she saw Ava dance. At the time, all she could think was how well her sister danced, and how perfectly matched she and Adrian looked together on the dance floor. 14 years had passed. Yet the dancers in the center of the floor remained Adrian and Ava. She still hadn't danced with Adrian because he'd said he wasn't good at dancing, but when dancing with Ava, his movements were always smooth and refined. "Adrian, won't I get upset with you doing this?" As they danced, Ava spoke softly near his ear, her hand still on his arm. "She's not you. She won't." Adrian replied coldly. "Are you saying I'm petty?" Ava pouted playfully. When she dated Adrian before, she deliberately made a show of jealousy whenever he spoke to another woman for more than a few words, just to prove she loved him deeply. Adrian hadn't just tolerated it, he seemed to enjoy her intense possessiveness. Later, in subsequent relationships, she'd adopted a hands-off approach. Then she discovered that all men seemed to be the same. When she didn't pay attention, they'd get angry. But since she was only dating, not marrying anyone like she had with Adrian, she never bothered meeting their needs. Grace had never dated anyone but Adrian. She'd harbored a quiet crush for so many years. There was something almost masochistic about how passive she was in their relationship. It wasn't surprising that Adrian didn't take her seriously, just like her mother. She'd endured for 20+ years, only to hear her father say, "I can't accept a dead person." "If your sister knew about us, wouldn't she still not mind?" Ava spoke brightly. "You won't tell her." Adrian's expression was composed and assured. This was the nth time Ava felt Adrian's intelligence was annoyingly clever. As the dance ended, thunderous applause erupted. Mr. Pierce clearly pairs best with Miss Hart. Haven't we never seen him dance with Miss Grace Hart? Miss Hart's younger sister has been kind and caring since childhood. The news reports say she's donated substantial amounts to domestic charities, and she's planning humanitarian work in rural areas soon. No wonder Mr. Pierce can't let her go. The elder Miss Hart is too cold and distant, though talented. The fragmented gossip reached Grace's ears. Her heart was overflowing with bitterness. She took a step back unsteadily and accidentally bumped into someone. "Be careful." A hand steadied her. "Thank you." She whispered her thanks and quickly left. "That's the elder Hart, right? First time seeing her?" Nathan mentioned casually as he watched Grace leave. Wesley retrieved the hand that had just steadied Grace. He'd seen Grace at the gala before, but didn't know she was Ava's sister. Wesley. Never heard Ava mention her. When they were together, Ava talked about everything, but she never brought up family topics. You probably don't know, but the Hart family is pretty biased. The two sisters' relationship is generally poor. Nathan explained the Hart family dynamics to Wesley. Wesley raised his eyes to look at Ava emerging from the dance floor. Her smile was brilliant and radiant. Looking at her smile, Wesley felt his heart ache. He'd initially thought she must have grown up in a happy, loving family since she was so cheerful and optimistic, so kind and well-mannered. Who would have guessed that she'd been poorly treated by her own family since childhood? From her youth through adulthood, despite lacking parental love, she'd managed to become such a warm and positive person. This alone spoke volumes about her strength of character. "Would you honor me with a dance, Miss Hart?" Wesley stopped before Ava, his eyes brimming with tenderness. Ava released Adrian's arm and placed her hand in Wesley's larger palm. Wesley's hand was always warm as expected. She hadn't paid attention to Adrian's darkening expression.